In this video, you will learn how to reinforce the wall elements with span reinforcement. We have already prepared the cross sections, so we can immediately start with the Enter Area Reinforcement command. In the dialog box that appears, choose the Span Reinforcement option. Here you also have some other options for edge or support reinforcement. First, you need to input the reinforcement offset in the command line. That offset is actually the concrete cover. Please note that the prefix minus or plus is very important here, so the black continuous line, in this case, is on the inner part of the yellow line. The direction of inputting the edges depends on the prefix. Input the area polygonally by snapping on the edge points of the wall. With these two lines, you define span in which you will input reinforcement. So yellow line defines the edge of the element and the black line defines the concrete cover for the reinforcement. After inputting all corners of span, press the Escape key to continue with setting the parameters. After that, the black line becomes yellow dashed line. In that moment, you can check and input new parameters in new pop-up window. First, in the upper left part of the window, you have the option for entering the openings. Select it and input edges of window opening. In this case, you need to change the offset to -3 because now the black concrete cover line is inverted. Input just one window opening. We can do the changes for the other opening later. The layer depth option is very important here, and it defines where the reinforcement will be positioned in the other cross-section. To activate the depth definition, you must click inside the box and in that moment, click on the edge of the wall in the other cross-section. When you click on the edge of the wall, the coordinate will be inputted in the box. If that coordinate or depth does not fill out, you must find another edge that will be recognized. Below is box where you need to input the component thickness, in our example the thickness of our concrete wall element. Or check it if value is already input. On the right side of this Enter Area Reinforcement window are two boxes that define reinforcement placement, upper or lower layer. Concrete covered top means that you will input reinforcement in the upper layer, and concrete covered bottom means that you will input reinforcement in the lower layer. In these boxes, you must input the value for concrete cover depending on which layer you want to reinforce. Input the concrete cover of 3 cm in the lower layer. You can see that now in the cross section a yellow dashed line appears with the offset of 3 cm from the wall edge. That line represents the depth of our reinforcement layer. Confirm everything with OK and go to section 2.2. On the section 2.2 you can now see all the reinforcement with the default parameters set. Parameters can be defined in new pop-up window. Here you can choose the diameter available from the catalog you use. Maximum bar length is 40 meters, as you define it in options, but you can change that here. Spacing between bars is set to 10 centimeters. Angle is set to 90 degrees for vertical reinforcement, but if you change it to 0 degrees and the bars will be placed horizontally. Or you can input any arbitrary angle for placement. Alpan calculates the rebar area automatically, so you won't need to input it here, but you can if you want. You can set the longitudinal bar overlaps here. Placing length is the actual length of span that you define. In the middle part of this window, you can define the offset from start and end edges of the span. For now, let's leave it set to equal offsets from the edges. Here you can define shape of bar, so choose the desired shape at start and shape at the end of the span. Next, you can switch the start point of the span reinforcement. You can set the number of layers and quantity factor. Next, you have the benching options, so choose the desired benching according to the schemas. Here are the options for displaying bars. You can choose to display all bars, only the middle one, or the edge ones. Or maybe you want to select the ones you want to display. Lastly, you can set the placing parameters, which can be very useful for more complex geometry of the elements and how the reinforcement will be grouped together, or separated with the different mark numbers. Also, here you can define the different overlap settings. Confirm your settings by clicking on OK and start placing the labels. From the drop-down menu in Palette, you can choose the different types of labels. But you can also do it later, so press the Escape key for now. Note that you are still in the Area Reinforcement command, so you need to press the Escape key again to exit the command. You can see all the placed bars in the animation window. To place another layer of horizontal reinforcement, choose the same command again. Enter Area Reinforcement, Span Reinforcement. Now, choose the Match option in the Input option window. This means you can match the second layer with already placed one. After clicking on Match, select Already Placed Reinforcement Polygon in Section 2.2. In Enter Area Reinforcement window, you can note that Allplan already inputted the correct value for concrete cover at bottom. Press OK to continue. Now you can see that Allplan already placed the bars at the correct angle. Confirm everything with OK. Again, you can label all bars now, but you can also do it later, so press the Escape key to exit the command. That's it. You have placed the span reinforcement in 2 layers at one side of the wall. Thank you for your time and see you in the next video tutorial.